Yesterday, we brought you the history of the York U.S. 30 drag strip racing down the York Airport in Thomasville. Tonight, Fox 43's Lindsay Barna explains how that history is now being preserved.
Although the U.S. 30 drag strip hasn't been raced in 44 years, there are a few ways history is being preserved from the Pride of the East. One way of doing that brings an old Central PA team together for the first time in decades. There's a unique story sitting in this garage. Two cars that used to race on the old U.S. 30 drag strip. Both were mostly nothing but the chassis when Randy Davis of Littlestown first saw them. He spotted this 1933 Willies when he was still in grade school. He needed his parents to help co-sign.
It didn't matter because I knew what I wanted and I knew what I could do with the car. And it took years. It was close to 25 years before I got all the parts to put it together and the money.
Turning this empty frame into this. And after the Willies, he was itching for more and came across a 1939 Studebaker. And these cars had one thing in common, being raced by the same driver. The boss was a proven winner in York. It was a 5-time record holder at US 30 and reached 114.64 miles per hour at the Nationals in Indy. Davis took a unique angle in restoring the old gasser.
He gave me 115 slides of when they used to race and when they built it.
Every piece on the car is to a T of what it was when Hanover's Charlie Garrett piloted the boss and asked for input from the crew.
Randy had us out a couple times to say, hey, is this right? Is that right? When he was building this to get it as original as it once was. And I want to thank Randy and Yvonne because if it wouldn't have been for them, we would have never all got back together.
Decades after racing together, it was an Eliminator race team reunion. And it didn't stop there.
We painted it to look like the original towed vehicle that towed our Studebaker to the racetrack from 62 to 66.
All of us would jump in there, a lot of us would jump in there, and down the road we go.
This replica 1956 Chevy Carryall hauled the team across the states, putting the full package together just like they had 60 years ago. The old boss was a hot commodity, not just locally, but nationally, being featured on the front page of Hot Rod magazine. There's a section in the Eastern Museum of Motorsports dedicated to the diggers. Nostalgic pieces from US 30 lives in the museum and actual cars that raced on the very strip. From Dauphin County's Bruce Larson's funny car to this 1966 Chevelle.
It's pretty much a full-time job for me to preserve the history of automotive racing in the Eastern United States. That's what we're striving to do because like everything else, things change, and it's it's neat to have the history, and especially the artifacts and the real things that you can see and touch that were here 50, 60 years ago.
The drag racing section was phase 3 of the museum construction, opening in April of 2012. And although US 30 hasn't been raced in 44 years, you can still watch previous meets and take everything in like you were there in the 60s and 70s. The museum is a heavy favorite among motorsports enthusiasts. There's a waiting list to put cars on display as what you see behind me is changed annually during the off-season. Lindsay Barna, Fox 43.